Okay, hello, beautiful people. How are we doing today? It is a good day, and I want to welcome all of you to the Battle of the Algorithms. So, this is going to be interesting. This is my first time hosting any kind of event like this, so I'm going to ask all of you to go a little easy on me. But the first thing we're going to do is run through a quick little agenda of, the tournament, the rules, the contestants, all that good stuff. It's only going to take about 5 minutes, so stick with me while we get through the boring part and then we'll get on to the actual competition. Sound good? So, let me just pull up my notes so that I have reference. And let us get started. So, what is the Battle of the Algorithms? Well, this is a kind of coding competition. So we had 8 developers who would have participated in a 2-week coding period where they submitted all of their, algorithms to a SnakeAI game. So we all know the classic snake game where the snakes go along, they catch apples, like whoever, survives the longest wins in this case. But instead of having one snake, we'll have 2 snakes and these will go head to head. So as mentioned, thrilling coding competition, 8 developers submitted their code. Each contestant has crafted an AI controller, which, plays the competitive version of the classic Snake game. So we're going to be battling for survival, food, and glory. So with strategic thinking, lightning fast decisions, and a touch of creativity, only one will emerge as the ultimate champion. And today is the day when we find out who that is. So, those were my opening remarks. And first of all, I want to say thank you so much to each of the contestants that would have participated. I know that you guys had other commitments like school and work and everything else, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time out. So, with that being said, let's meet our amazing contestants. And today, competing with us, we have Beijing Wei, Childs, Isaiah, Josh, Lord of Kings, Mikkel, and Philema. And these are the amazing contestants who would have worked so hard on submitting their code. So thank you guys so much. But before we get into the rules, a little bit of housekeeping. So, as you would have noticed on the previous screen, these are 7 developers. And I would have kept mentioning that this is a competition with 8 people. However, unfortunately, we have had a self-disqualification. So one of the contestants actually was not able to submit the code. So instead of waiting the entire time, they decided to tell me up front, I'm not going to be able to submit. And they asked to remove themselves from the competition. So what does this mean? Since they have voluntarily withdrawn, what we're going to do is kind of pair that person with whoever still. We'll have like a ghost participant kind of thing, and whoever is paired with that disqualified participant will automatically advance to the next round. So, for example, this is more of what our contestant list will look like, and as you can see here, we have the disqualified participant who will be randomly paired with somebody, and whoever that is will automatically advance. In terms of the coding timelines, they had a period between May 25th to June 8th to develop their algorithms. All of them were tested on the host system to ensure they did not time out, and no contestants timed out during the initial tests. However, a grace period was allowed for final tweaks, and any code updated in this window was not retested. So contestants accepted the risk of submitting untested code. So if anything goes wrong today, that's not at me, but we'll see how it goes. And now for the tournament rules. So the format is elimination style, as you may have seen on one of the previous slides. We have 8 developers competing in a 1-on-1 bracket. So there's 7 brackets total. Stay with me. Each bracket consists of 3 rounds, which means that their algorithms will be ran 3 times. It is a best of 3 format, so the first AI to win 2 rounds will proceed to the next bucket. So if a snake wins like the first 2 rounds, we won't do the 3rd round. And then it will end in a final showdown between the last 2 standing, and we'll find out who wins. So the objectives of the actual game and the tournament are to survive the longest while collecting the most food and avoid collisions with walls, obstacles, and other snakes. We have some match-ending conditions. So first of all, collisions. If anybody collides, they're automatically the loser of that round, and the other person, the last surviving snake, will win. For a round timeout, we have each round lasting 5 minutes maximum. Snakes with the most food after the time expires will win. Ties are broken by sudden death. Sudden death means that the first to get this one particular apple will win, and the last match ending condition is in the case of a technical failure. Faulty algorithms will be disqualified unless it's proven to be an issue with the whole system. And sudden death mode, let's see what this is about. So this is a tiebreaker for a round. If it gets to the point where the round is at the 5-minute mark and both snakes are tied, then we go into sudden death mode. All regular apples are removed. We have 1 sudden death apple, and the first snake to eat the apple will win the round. And of course, we have an AI decision time limit, so we don't stick up the game too much. Each algorithm must return a valid decision in less than 50 milliseconds. If no valid move is returned within the time limit, the snake continues in the same direction. And of course, the most important rule is to have fun. So with that being said, let the battle begin. So, what I'm gonna do now is pull up our intermission screen while I get this sorted and show you guys the actual bracket. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is the bracket. So we'll have Lord of Kings and Isaiah, Josh and Thelema, Childs and Bajan Wave, and then the disqualified participant was paired with Mikkel, which means that Mikkel will automatically advance. So, with that being said, let me start the tournament. Okay, and we're good to go. And what we'll do is actually show the first bracket. And as you would have seen just now, the first competitors are Lord of Kings and Isaiah. So we'll start with those 2 first. Remember, whoever is the last man standing will advance to the next round. You have to win 2 games. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, I have the code base here, and I have a final controller submissions list with all of the contestants' code. So since our first 2 are, I already forgot. I know it's Isaiah and Lord of Kings. So we'll put Lord of Kings into player 1 controller, and we'll put Isaiah into players 2 controller. My virtual environment is already set up, so let's get this first round started. Oops, it started on the other screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, and it seems like the first winner of that round is Lord of Kings because Isaiah would have hit Lord of Kings. So what we're going to do is come in here. That was a very quick round. I gave y'all 5 full minutes and you took 30 seconds. That's crazy. So we have 1 for Lord of Kings. Did that record correctly? Oh, do I have to do that separately? There we go. So let's do that one more time. What I would have loved is if at this point in time I could have had the two of them talking about their algorithms. Isaiah won, so we now have a draw. So now we are... Sorry, did I not do this correctly? 1 score for Lord of Kings and 1 for Isaiah. I'll probably just keep a record elsewhere because that is confusing me. And then we're going to run this one more time to see who actually wins this round. Y'all finishing fast though, 5 full minutes. Okay, and it looks like Lord of Kings wins the first bracket, so congratulations. So we're going to... I swear I tested this before I started. 1 here, 1 here, and the last one for Lord of Kings. And we're going to submit the scores, and Lord of Kings is the winner of the first bracket. So thank you so much for participating, Isaiah. However, you got out in the first round. So hopefully next time we have one, you can advance a little bit more. Okay, so let us now move on to the next bracket. And this is going to be bracket number 2, Josh versus Thelema. So now what I'm gonna do is remove your code from these controllers. And we're going to take Josh and put him into the first controller. And we're going to take Thelema and put her code into the second one. And what we're going to do now is start the first round for Josh versus Thelema. I wish I was a cool commentator that could do like the exciting race, like, oh look, Thelema takes the lead, Thelema does this. I don't have the voice for it, guys, I'm sorry, but trust the process. We have Thelema currently in the lead though with 26. Oh no, we're tied. It seems like both of them are pretty on par, so this might be a pretty close match. Okay, and Thelema wins. And the reason why Thelema wins is because Josh self-collided. So, I'm not even going to bother marking these scores, I'll just keep a track elsewhere and we can mark it at the end. So we have Joshua self-collided, so Thelema wins. Start the second round. Josh predicted that. I do think it is really interesting. I know some of the contestants have like future prediction and stuff like that. Okay, Josh was self-collided again. It was a given. It's okay. We know that you tried your best, especially given the time conflicts. So, unfortunately, since you've lost twice, this means that Thelema has won. And we're now going to go back somewhere and mark Thelema as the winner. So congratulations, Thelema, you have moved on to the next round. And for the next bracket, we actually have Childs versus Pygame Wave. And we're moving pretty quickly, surprisingly. So, Childs versus Pygame Wave. Let's reset these controllers. And we will now enter Childs as player 1 and Pygame Wave as player 2. Let me just make sure I actually copied the right thing just now. Pygame Wave, player 2, and Childs as Pygame 1. Sorry, player 1. And let us begin the first round. Yeah, the self loops are really deadly. You have to try to avoid those as much as possible. I would be really interested to hear how you guys actually developed these algorithms. So if there's anything special that you want to share with everybody while we're watching, you can say what your algorithm was aiming to do, etc., any fancy techniques. But it seems like Pygame Wave has now self-collided, so we have Childs as the first winner. So of course, as they're playing, there's always 3 apples on the board. If we make it to the 5-minute mark, that's when we'll have 1 apple. But so far, y'all seem to want to get this tournament done and over with. We're making it quick. I do think this is one of the longest rounds that we've had, if I'm not mistaken. So the snakes seem to be performing pretty well this time. Yeah, this one is... And I keep thinking that Child is going to self-collide because it keeps like getting wrapped up in these very tight spaces, but it seems like they're performing pretty well so far. Might this be our first sudden death round? Perhaps? Yeah, you guys did really well. Oh, there we go. So Pygame Wave has collided with an obstacle. So this means that we now have 2 cases where Childs won, so Childs is the winner. But I will say that both of your algorithms performed really well in this game. So congratulations to both of you. So, oops. Okay, so Childs will be moving on to the next bracket. Good game indeed. So, our last round one bracket is Mikkel versus the disqualified snake. Unfortunately, we don't have an algorithm to test yours against in the first round, Mikkel, but you will be automatically moving on to the next round, so congratulations. Oops. So what I'm gonna do is just mark Mikkel as 3 points, submit the score, and you have now moved on to the next brackets. So you guys are in the semi-finals, Lord of Kings, Thelema, Childs, and Mikkel. So what I'm gonna do now is actually edit my little bracket template so you guys can have some visuals. And in the meantime, I'm going to put back on the intermission screen. I promise this will only take a second. You guys didn't tell me it was still blasting the music, my bad. So for our bracket 4, we will be having, sorry, bracket 5 will have Lord of Kings versus Thelema. Childs versus Mikkel. So let me copy this in. Okay. So, as mentioned, for our next bracket, we'll be having Lord of Kings versus Thelema. We're speed running this tournament, guys. This is great. This is great. You guys did amazing, I will say. And I know you had your challenges, but I do appreciate the hard work. For sure, for sure, for sure. So I just said Lord of Kings as player 1 and Thelema as player 2. Okay. So, round 1, let's go. Ooh. Did yours just get stuck there for a bit, Jonathan? I'm seeing a stuck counter 4 in the console. Okay, and it seems like Thelema has won the first round since Lord of Kings has self-collided. Okay, and we will go to the second round. And Lord of Kings has collided with an obstacle, so Thelema has won this bracket as well. And I will say Thelema's performing really well. I do believe she was one of the first submissions, so this is really, really amazing. And I had sent a poll in the chat which had a status update to see who was up to speed and who was, how everybody was performing in the coding period. And I remember Thelema was the first person to vote and say that it was light work, so evidently she wasn't lying. Light work for real. So congratulations Thelema, and congratulations Lord of Kings for making it this far. And we will now move on to Childs versus Mikkel. Sorry, let me pull back up my bracket for official reasons. Hold on. We get in there. Childs versus Mikhail. Betting your house on Mikhail. Can I be a part of this bet? Something partiality, I know. I wouldn't mind a free house in this economy though. You know, in worst case scenario. Not betting against you, Mikhail. Okay. All of that, and I still forgot who it is. Childs and Mikhail. So, player 1 controller, Childs, and player 2, Mikhail. Okay. So let us see the final match off for the semifinals. Who's going to win? We're gonna run, and let's see what happens. Also seems like these two algorithms are performing really well. Mikhail taking a lead. Yeah, this is Mikhail's first match. And he's doing well, so you know. Could this be our first 5-minute match? Perhaps? Maybe? I think what's interesting as well is that you guys wrote really efficient algorithms. I saw a timeout earlier in one of the matches. Oh, child self-collided. Mikhail has won. Congratulations. So we'll go again for round 2. But yeah, I think it's really cool. You guys haven't timed out in this match at all. Somebody printed good game. Somebody printed good game at the end of it. Another long round. Every time I ask if it's the first 5-minute match, though, it immediately ends. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut this time. Oh, you're making me nervous going into that corner. Those predictions kicking in, it seems. Yeah, this is a really, really good round. We still have Bushwookie, aka Mikau, in the lead. I'm interested to know the origin of that name, but I fear I also don't want to ask. So I'm gonna just, yeah. Oh, yeah, Mikkel was cooked in that second. So we have now had one self collision from Childs and one self collision from Bushwookie. So it all comes down to this, the final round for this match. Let's go. Y'all making me wish I had made like a whole statistics sheet and stuff like that for this game. Oh my goodness. Next tournament for sure. And we'll see if we can actually get some prizes. And maybe for whoever like survives the longest. If it's like something similar where we have timed rounds, I think that would be cool. Like whoever has the longest survival rate, whoever collects the most like apples or in another game, whatever statistics work. But yeah. Of course. You see that one up there? Battle of the Algorithms 1. The first of many. And they will get bigger and better with time. And hopefully more prizes. Okay, and the winner for this round is Childs, since Bushwookie, aka Mikau, has hit the other snake. So, what does this mean? Childs, you are moving on to the finals. Congratulations. You are indeed no homeless. You are. And I would like that house, please. I didn't participate in the bet, but like this economy kind of rough. Okay. So this means that our final bracket will consist of Thelema and Childs. And just for continuity's sake, y'all get to see a little bit of my Canva editing situation. Don't worry, soon enough we'll have like a full platform built out where all these things are automatic, you know, just vibes. Unfortunately, though, it was only me developing this platform um for the contestants to use, so you get what you get. Anyways, so bracket number 7, the final bracket. We've made it through 6 others. It has been very interesting. We have not had a single 5-minute round or sudden death yet, but there's still time. So, at the end of this round, we will have a final Battle of the Algorithms 1 champion. So, place your bets. Thelema versus Childs. Let's go. So Thelema will go in controller 1, and Childs will go into controller number 2. And just like that, we have our final round. Place your bets, place your bets. And let us begin bracket number 7, the final bracket for Battle of the Algorithms 1 featuring Snake AI. Oops, somebody is spinning in circles? Okay. I do think it's interesting how Thelema's snake is moving in more of like a zigzaggy pattern, and I'm curious as to why that is. Of course, we're going to have a highlights reel coming up at some point in the future where the contestants will also explain their thought processes and stuff like that behind their different algorithms, any challenges they faced, any particular tips and tricks that they used to get their winning algorithms or non-winning algorithms. But yeah, and let me just say, as this round goes, regardless, you are all winners in my book. Because the fact that you guys took the time out really, really means so much to me. And I genuinely appreciate it. Might shed a tear. Okay. And it seems as though Thelema, or Solid Snake, has self-collided in the first round. This means that we have 1 point going to Childs. We're going to start again, round number 2 of the final bracket. This is another really good round. Y'all really, y'all trying to build the suspense, I guess. This is a really, really good round. We have Childs in a solid lead of 115. dare I say it, first 5 minute round, maybe, perhaps. You guys are taking up a lot of the board at this point. This is really, really good. Self collision's making me a bit nervous. Yeah, we're now at the 3 minute mark. 2 more minutes to go, and then we'll have a sudden death. Okay, and it seems like Child's collided with the wall. So, y'all know what this means. We had Dilemma win one, and we had Child's win one. This means that the winner of the Battle of the Algorithms all comes down to this final round. Y'all trying to build the suspense. So, without further ado, let us get in to the final round of the Battle of the Algorithms. Who will win? Also, at this point, y'all just gonna have to trust my process. That the sudden death was good. Because I don't know if we're gonna make it to one. I was hoping we did, but we did not. So, Child is with a solid lead right now at 191. So, as long as he can manage to stay alive without crashing, he will have this game down. And we are now at the 3 minute mark, 2 minutes remaining in this normal round. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. the winner of the Battle of the Algorithms, Snake AI, is Thelema. So, hold on, let me have my whole fancy review. Hold on, one more time. Let me go. Let's try this. Hold on. Wait, wait, wait. See, there's where like a whole platform would be so nice right now. All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? The winner of the Battle of the Algorithms 1 featuring Snake AI is Thelema! Congratulations! This is wonderful. You did amazing. And congratulations to all of the contestants. You guys did wonderful. 10 out of 10. And I look forward to hearing some of your thought processes. Of course, I have pushed the final controllers that we have used today. So if anybody wants to go and check them out, look at them. It should be in the description at some point in time. Yeah, the competition brief is there, so you can find the repository from there as well. So you guys can check out some of the strategies that the other players would have used and kind of see their thought processes behind everything. Okay, so with that being said, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for participating. And yes, Sulema, a LinkedIn post. You should. Real, real. I'll also be making my own announcing the winner. So thank you so much. Congratulations, Sulema. You did amazing. And congratulations to all of the contestants. And thank all of you lovely people for coming out and watching the Battle of the Algorithms unfold. It has been an interesting experience. A lot has been learned. Um, I will say that much. But thank you, and until next time, this has been Technically. Almost forgot my name. Yeah. Until next time, this has been Technically Tea. Bye.